Part 19, Gods of the Mountain Ranges. Discourse 19 of 20. Beloved God Tabor, 7th January 1964. Beloved God Tabor, beloved of my heart, we bring you tonight not only the radiation and our love from the mountain ranges of the world, we bring to you the illumining consciousness that brings into your outer self whatever your beloved I Am presence has commanded will allow the outer self to manifest and to use to more quickly fulfill its own divine plan. Tonight, again, we want to bring to you the explanation of why there is such strength and purity in the mountain ranges of the world, why the great power of the electronic force from the great central sun is anchored and concentrated within those mountain ranges, and how that service goes forth to help mankind and the powers of nature release what mankind requires while embodied in this world to do that which needs to be done in order to gain mastery over the forces of the elements and the control of conditions in the physical world. The mountain ranges of the world are the guardians of the most concentrated electronic force of immortal purity, and that is why the masses of the people do not live in the mountain ranges, because they are inaccessible and are very much more inconvenient as places to live in than the lower altitudes of the earth. But the greater purity and the greater power of that purity is definitely concentrated and stored, as it were, in the mountain ranges of the world to be a certain proportion of immortal purity of that electronic force from the great central sun that mankind cannot contaminate. Therefore, as the radiation goes forth through the mountain ranges of the world, its intensity, the purity and the power and the blessings and the marvelous outpouring and radiation that is held within the mountain ranges of the world is stepped down in intensity as it flows to the lower levels and lower altitudes. It is stepped down in intensity so that mankind can absorb it little by little, or as much as the individual can make a part of his or her life stream and use it. Those of you who love to go to the mountains and abide there always receive strength and harmony and power while you are there that pushes aside or consumes the tension, the struggle, and the feeling of impurity or discord which exhausts you and which causes disturbance in your affairs. Therefore, when you want the extra power and immortal purity from the mountain ranges of the world, call to your beloved I Am presence first, and then to the gods of the mountains, any one of us or all, and ask for our cosmic mantle of electronic force and immortal purity to flow in and around you its protecting presence, clothe you in its garment of boundless strength, and make you the peace of the silence in the mountains. Because when you still yourselves, after you go into some place in the mountains and you become still, the concentrated electronic force in that stillness begins to penetrate you. You begin, first of all, to breathe it in. That quiets the emotional body. Then you begin to feel it strengthen you from within. Then if you were to stay and make the call, you would find it could bring you wondrous illumination. When you are in the mountains, and you will quiet the outer self and turn your attention to the beloved I Am presence and the ascended host, asking us to fill you with our gifts and powers of the mountain ranges that you know you need and that we know you need, you can in that stillness as you feel yourselves at one with the stillness, you can be filled just like you would pour water in a cup. You could be filled with the strength, the energy, the health, and the power of the silence in the mountain ranges that can draw in and around you the illumining power of the love that constantly sustains the outpouring of the life in the mountain ranges. Because the life that is anchored there, that creates and sustains the great forests of the world and all the blessings of the powers of nature in the mountain ranges, all of that strength and power and activity of life can come into you as you abide in the silence and feel yourselves at one with it. Because the amount of power, the energy of life that it takes to create the vast forests in the mountain ranges of the world, you must realize, is something of tremendous cosmic concentration. And it is drawn into this world from the great central sun by the cosmic beings who have created the powers of nature and are masters over those forces in the physical octave. Therefore, when you understand that you have the power and the capacity within your own life to push aside the turmoil of human creation and entering into the stillness, and the power and the purity in the great mountain ranges, you can draw within yourselves those activities of life that produce such perfection there. There is much beauty within the mountain ranges of the world, beauty mankind has never understood because there's only one means of contacting it, and that is the stillness of the emotional body, the purity of the energy of the outer self, and the heart desire for that which the great cosmic law has located in the mountain ranges for use both by cosmic beings and mankind. The purity that flows forth through the forests in the mountains and the radiation from the mountain ranges and the mineral wealth that is within the mountains, that is the purifying electronic force of life that goes to the lower levels of the world and forms the atmosphere of great cities and locations in which mankind live and in which there are so many of mankind in one spot. It is the most wonderful provision of life when you understand how the greater life pours the flame of its love and its energy to that which is lesser, provides the sustaining flow of the greater life, until it has raised the vibratory action of the lesser life into something greater. And it is all done in a great natural flow of the currents of energy that are continually pouring from the great central sun to the physical sun, and then into the mountain ranges of the world. Now, just as that greater life pours to the earth through the physical sun, just so can the life, the purity, the harmony, and the perfection of the powers of nature pour into the individual, the human beings embodied in this world. It is a great gift of the greater life's love that continually pours its energy, its purity, its harmony, and then its unfolding magnificent pictures and activities of perfection and of perfect creation into the outer use of mankind. This is one way the magnificent divine plan and its perfection from the ascended master's octave flows, little by little, through the mountain ranges of the world into the brain structure of mankind, into the mental and feeling world. And then individuals reach up, and when the desire of the heart reaches for something wonderful from the octave above the physical world, then there comes into the outer self the magnificent perfection, the blessings, the divine plan revealed, the release of the power to accomplish, and the great harmony that enables constructive activity to be created and sustained. This is the great cosmic law's sustaining power to all that is constructive, And when individuals use that energy, the energy of the outer self, to do things that are not constructive, then disaster occurs wherever the individual goes. But the individual that creates the discord is the source of whatever destruction is imposed upon the powers of nature and forces of the elements, and, as time goes on, reacts on the individual who imposes it upon the powers of nature. So when the great cosmic law has created this magnificent storehouse of perfection from the ascended master's octave, from the physical sun and the great central sun, and stored that perfection for future use, and ever guards it in the mountain ranges of the world, mankind should understand something about the effort life goes to in order to bring into the outer use of the people who embody in this world the greater purity, the greater ideas of perfection, and the design that will reveal to the intellect of man the higher and greater way to produce manifestation that is always perfect. Because the cosmic beings who have designed the powers of nature and forces of the elements upon the earth, and have drawn them here, have created them to contain the perfection that mankind is to reach up and receive and draw into the outer use of the individual to produce the activities of the physical world by which individuals, through experience, are constantly raised to something greater and better until the ascension is accomplished. So, creation goes on all the time. You're creating every moment, waking and sleeping. Something is being created in the great storehouse of nature. In the great mountains of the world, the great activities, the creative activities of life, are anchored and busy for aeons of time, building, creating, and sustaining the perfection that is to be used aeons of time ahead. So when you understand that when you become consciously aware of what is in the mountain ranges of the world, how you may receive it, then, beloved ones, when you are privileged to go into the mountains, don't fail to still the outer self and give recognition to the great beings and the blessings and powers of nature that are anchored there to pour forth their blessings for mankind's use. But those of you, when you have been in the mountains and then sometimes must return to your homes in the cities, you can, any time you care to still the outer and turn your attention to the mountain ranges of the world, you can at all times, through your beloved I Am presence, your call to the presence, and your love to the beings who govern those mountain ranges, you can draw back the purity, the love, the feeling of power. By contemplating what the great blessings are that flow to mankind through the mountain ranges of the world, you not only can still the outer and begin to feel that almost at will, but your mind becomes still, and your very contemplation upon that greater life and its greater perfection will open the door by which your own beloved I Am presence and one or more of the gods of the mountains can bring the illumination to your outer intellectual consciousness to let you create more and more of the magnificent beauty and the perfection that you can bring into the physical world to bless it, to bless all you contact. And you can have the joy of using that and bringing it into the outer use of others. So, beloved ones, the life that has created such beauty and such power and such sustaining perfection in the mountain ranges of the world, you must realize, is a gift of love that loves you and will give of its gift to you, just the same as anyone else who will come to the mountain ranges, or in the quiet, many times, of your own homes, as you turn your attention and ask for the blessing and the radiation from those mountain ranges to come into you, no matter where you abide, that greater storehouse of life and life's perfection will open the floodgates and give you its gift. This is what I wish to bring to your attention, because there are beings who direct this wherever mankind calls it forth or is willing to be quiet enough to draw it into your outer use. There is power there that you can use, you can have in your outer world activities, provided you still the outer long enough to receive it and turn your attention there. And wherever your attention goes to the great mountain ranges of the world, there must come within you an expansion of your own consciousness by the very radiation that flows back to you through your attention, while your feeling reaches out to those magnificent gifts and powers of nature and the storehouse of the greater perfection which is here for mankind's use. So, in giving you this explanation, we hope you will feel closer to us, because we are the storehouse of the power and purity that must continually flow down into the outer use of the masses of mankind. It is always flowing, and you can step into a river of its flow and receive whatever you will when you desire it, when you still the outer, when you turn your attention to it and prepare yourselves to receive it. And we want to give it, that those great, magnificent blessings may fill and surround you, and you, in turn, pour them forth to the rest of mankind. You can have this blessing if you will but call. Now, one more thing. The Ascended Masters' retreats, most of them, not all, but a great many, are in the highest peak of the mountain ranges of any particular country. In every Ascended Master retreat that has been here since the beginning of mankind's embodiment, every Ascended Master retreat has focused within it a concentration and a manifestation of the sacred fire. And therefore, those are the radiating centers from which there constantly pours forth, through the radiation of the mountain ranges of the world, the perfection of the Ascended Master's octave through the sacred fire which they bring to earth to carry down into the outer use of mankind the greater perfection of life. That is why that purity is sustained. Powers of nature are sustained. The electronic force is sustained. And the creation of the oxygen and the other elements which mankind breathes in and must have for survival is constantly supplied through the mountain ranges of the world. So, these gifts are located in those mighty miracles of nature as a storehouse of the greater life's perfection, to give to mankind as much as human beings can use from time to time in the creation of a civilization or the producing of conditions that release the purity and the harmony that is the raising power to take all forward to the ascension. Beloved ones, the Ascended Masters' retreats are located in the highest peaks of the mountain ranges of the world for a very definite purpose, and that radiation has gone on for centuries and centuries and centuries, of which mankind knows nothing, and those activities of the sacred fire are still there. They are still giving their gifts. They are giving mankind what mankind can use to purify and produce perfection here, and they are the sustaining life of the planet. Just like the pillars of a great building are the sustaining structure on which the building is built, so are the Ascended Master retreats throughout the world a place where the sacred fire has been concentrated by definite conscious command to pour forth its blessing, sustaining power, and ever-expanding perfection to the human beings who come into this world for embodiment. So, there's a very great reason why the mountain ranges of the world are inaccessible to most of mankind, and why they are the guardians of the gifts that produce perfection, and which mankind can have if individuals will use those gifts constructively. When I say constructively, I mean for the upliftment of every other particle of life on the earth, because when you receive the gifts of the greater perfection of life into this physical world, they are for you to use. They are for you to let flow so they may expand, and the next wave of the outpouring be greater than the one before. But you must give the one before, command it to go forth, and bless all life in this world, in order for the next wave to fill you with its greater blessing, to give you of itself, to pour forth through you its perfecting presence, to ever be a raising force in the world around you. So, the blessings go on and on. They come from above. They are magnificent. They are all perfection. They are eternal. And they are given without money, without price, to all who will but turn their attention to the beloved I Am presence and the ascended host, understand this law, then open the door by which it can bless the individuals who know of its presence, wish to use its power, and are willing to pour forth something of life to raise the rest of mankind into the fulfillment of the great divine plan. So the great divine plan is magnificent perfection, and ever gives of itself to raise everybody and everything into its own great perfection. Do you not think love is a wonderful thing? Now the greater love that gives the sacred fire of itself into the mountain ranges of the world, into the ascended master retreats throughout the world, into the ever-expanding powers and blessings of nature, that greater love must be allowed to pour forth through human beings, purify them, expand perfection through them, and raise them into the next octave of experience. Raise them as masters over manifestation, that they, too, may use the greater life to again raise all they contact. So, the blessing goes on. It's infinite and eternal. It is overwhelming to all human creation, and it is the master presence of the great sacred fire's love to life that comes from above, gives its all, ever expands its blessing, and is forever and forever and forever the master presence of life. One day, as I have often said to you before, one day I hope to open the door and let you see into that which I have been privileged to create and anchor within my retreat, to reveal to those who come there the perfection of the divine plan of eternal blessing and beauty to life. No matter what that life is, where it comes from, it will bless all and raise all to the greater perfection of that same beauty in the ascended Master's octave. Beloved ones, since these creations have gone on for thousands and thousands of years, the work has gone on through the centuries. It will still go on, but it is ever seeking an outpouring whereby it can give its blessings to those who as yet have not quite attained their mastery and realized what they are privileged to use as they understand what life can give. And the beloved I Am Presence is the master hand that can use these gifts and bring them to outer existing conditions that mankind may understand the right way to live life and go forward in the obedience that brings only joy everywhere forever. For, I assure you, there is no discord in the great powerhouse of perfection and light, which has been located in the mountain ranges of the world, and there is no discord in the ascended master retreats throughout the world. The sacred fire does guard the immortal purity and gives it forever through the love that ever raises all into the same great perfection. So, your opportunity is without limit. It is ever at hand, and it goes forth to carry its blessing to you, to all, wherever you direct it, and it makes you master of circumstance. May you feel its great enfolding sacred fire heart presence of the purity and the love and the mighty power of the mountain ranges of the world to raise you and to raise all into that same great perfection for eternity. We are so grateful every time we can open the door and draw another life stream into that same great perfection, and we will always welcome you with the power that only love contains. Thank you with all my heart.